So often. Oh, there we
And
go.
it says that it's live. So if anyone is out there that can see us and hear us, give me a little tweet just so that I know that we're actually live. So hello, everyone out there. My name is Kelley Shaw, and I am the creator of Ladies Dream Golf. And thank you for joining us for our end of season wrap up. It's been a great season, and I want to thank everyone who participated in the fantasy golf, and especially those who helped support Brittany and Sandy this year. It's really amazing how generous everyone was. And let me just look at my Twitter because I think I got a couple of tweets. All right. Hey, Daryl's there.
Oh, Daryl.
Excellent. So anyway, it has been a great year. I'm so proud of Brittany and Sandy. They're just amazing women and amazing golfers, and I've been very honored to have them be part of Ladies Dream Golf this year. And so tonight we want to hear a lot from both of them and hear about their seasons and allow plenty of time for lots of questions, which I've already gotten quite a few questions, and I have a lot of questions. But let me start off by introducing everyone. And I'll go in the order that I see everybody on my screen, and hopefully this is the same order that everyone else is seeing you guys. So I'm going to start with Brittany. Brittany, can you wave? Brittany Benvenuto. Brittany played full-time on the Symetra Tour this year. I think you only missed one tournament the whole season. Is that right, yeah. Brittany?
Mm-hmm.
And had a great year, finished number 16 on the money list, and actually did well enough at Q School to earn conditional status on the LPGA, which is so exciting. And we're going to talk more about that a lot here in a little bit. And then next to her in the blue is Fiona Edwards. Fiona is a longtime Ladies Dream golfer. She's been part of, I don't know, how long, Fiona, for 3 years?
Definitely 3 seasons. Definitely.
Yeah. And we should definitely be honored to have Fiona here tonight because it's 1:30 a.m. her time in Scotland. And so I really appreciate Fiona joining us. And then finally, last but definitely not least, Sandra Angulo, who also played on the Symetra Tour this year. I was looking at the stats, Sandy, and you played in like 12 tournaments this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were about half-time on the Symetra Tour. So what I'd like to do is to start out and just let Brittany and Sandy kind of tell us about their season, maybe give us some high points, some low points, some turning points, really just whatever you want to tell us about your season. We all followed you on the leaderboards and that type of thing and on Twitter, but it'd really be nice to hear from you and just kind of a summary of your season. So Brittany, do you want to kick things off?
Sure. First of all, I want to extend my gratitude to everyone who played Ladies Dream Golf this year, fantasy golf. I was so thrilled to be a part of this, from the time that I met Kelley, and to see everyone's generosity and all of their well wishes and congratulations. It really felt like I was part of this community, and I haven't really felt that in my career. So this was just such a fun year for me to be a part of this. So I just want to thank everyone for that. This year started off kind of slow. I didn't really place in the top 10. I was kind of hanging around like 30th in Symetra for like my first 8 or 9 events or something like that. But I really felt I was playing well. So I kind of just kept sticking to my routine. And then I actually got injured. That was the one tournament that Kelley said I missed. And I had to withdraw. First time I've ever had to withdraw from a tournament. And I think Kelley said it. She's like, well, your attendance record is broken. Like I felt like I was in high school and I missed school. It was like such a bummer, but I actually credit that injury, which at the time felt like, catastrophic. I credit that with my good play after that, because I got a chance to go back home to Arizona. I kind of reset mentally. I didn't pick up my clubs for a while because I couldn't. and I had some really good conversations with my coach, Susie, and I reset mentally and I went out, and I think like the next 6 events in a row or something, I didn't come outside the top 20. And I didn't change anything really physically. Like I just kind of changed my mindset. And so that was kind of a cool turning point for me, how something that seemed to be really negative kind of turned into a huge positive. And then from there on out, I just kind of stuck with that same mindset, and it turned out pretty well. It was a battle till the end. The ending didn't, turn out how I wanted to. I got some good time off, got to go to Q school, and again, really happy with my results at Q school. So I'm really looking forward to next year.
Great, excellent. Sandy, would you like to kind of give us a summary of your year?
Yes, of course. But also I wanted to, I don't talk as nicely as Brittany, but I do want to thank you, Kelley, and everybody who supports Ladies Dream Golf, because it has been a great year and it's amazing to be part of it. It was a very nice experience for me, and as Brittany said, it's so cool when so many people are cheering for you, and you see, like, even the tournament that you came and watched us and you were like tweeting every single play we made. I mean, that was super cool. But honestly, it makes a huge difference for us that people, I mean, what you do, Kelley, it's very admirable for golf, for the sport, and I really appreciate all your support.
Absolutely.
Coming back to my year, it was kind of like an exciting year because it's when I kind of recovered my some kind of status on the Symetra, and I knew that I was gonna be able to play more tournaments. But at the beginning of the season was the anxiety of like when I'm gonna be playing. I actually got in the first tournament, and I went to LA, and I didn't have the start that I wanted, that I was looking forward to it. And when I came here in Florida, like I actually went to Lake Wales, and I was there the whole week because it's so close to home that it was, I mean, I practiced and everything. And even the first day of play, I was practicing there from morning to afternoon, and I didn't get in. And that kind of really like made me want it more. Like I was ready to play. However, it was kind of a transition year because I decided to make changes in my swing and things that I knew that it was okay, the moment to change it, there's now or never, because I wanted to have a good season. But I was kind of like with that hungry of playing, and so I got into the next tournament that was in Fort Myers, and I actually played pretty well, and that helped me to kind of get in, like in reshuffle and getting into the next tournaments. So I started traveling with the Symetra, and I feel like I was playing really well with the things that I changed in my swing. However, it was kind of hard to make that transition, that bridge of trusting it sometimes. So like my golf rounds were very inconsistent. Like I could make so many birdies and also big numbers, and so that was kind of like driving me crazy a little bit. But I started to work with somebody mentally too. And when I came home after Atlanta, that tournament, I was kind of, I missed the cut in Atlanta, and I was so frustrated because I was hitting really good, but I didn't let myself be on the present and allow the athlete go. I had the US Open qualifier, and it was when like it was, I mean, it had one of the best rounds I ever had that day. And just in the highlights of my year, because like in order to make that happen, I really stayed in the moment, and that was something really cool that I tried to replicate, and I did in a couple rounds afterwards. But that was kind of like a motivation of saying like, well, you're in the right path, you're doing the right things, and trusting in more what I'm doing. And then I prepared, and I play other tournaments from Symetra to get ready for the Open. So that's kind of like, I missed a few, especially like the Tullamore, and I think the Harris one. And obviously playing the Open was a great experience. Playing against the best in the toughest conditions was an amazing experience, and make me like motivate me to work harder. And I really know that I love what I do and I want to continue in this road. And when I came back, I played a few more events on the Midwest. But then I played so-so. I had a good tournament in Battle Creek. And I kind of, in Milwaukee, in those ones, I didn't play that great. So I kind of felt like I needed a break. Plus the tour was going in Garden City and it was harder for me to travel into those events. So I kind of decided to came home and work in the things that I needed that I felt at that time that I needed to work on and get ready for Q School in the last stretch of the season. And I didn't finish the way I wanted to, but I still looks like I will have the similar status of Symetra for next year. But I'm really excited because I'm got to the point that I feel really good with my game. I understand it way more, and I trust it more. Like I felt like during the season, like there were very up and downs because I had that transition, and it didn't. Even if I played good, it didn't feel kind of comfortable or right. It was still like strange to me. So it was like a hard bridge, but I'm really looking forward for next season.
Excellent, excellent. And I wanted to mention too that I had the fortune of getting to go to Decatur this year to watch both Brittany and Sandy play. And it was just kind of a coincidence, the same host family. And it was so much fun. I actually went and watched every single round, as Sandy said, and did some live tweeting of the rounds, and it was a lot of fun. And Sandy, you're right. I mean, I saw you rattle off a few birdies in a row there. It was like you can really get it going. So, it was really a lot of fun to watch. So, so we have a lot of questions, and so Fiona, I want to just start with you and let you ask a question or two, and then I'll ask some of the questions that I've gotten from some of our followers.
Okay, I just need to make a concession to my age here and put my glasses on. So, okay, my first question would then be to Brittany. So, just you mentioned a little bit about the conditional status. So, what's your understanding of that? You finished in this in a spot between 21 to 45, which gives you a conditional status on the LPGA Tour for next season. So, what events can you get into? And
yeah, is conditional status the same as conditional status?
Yes.
I just want to make that clear. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've understood you really well so far, so we're good. No.
Very slowly.
I'm kidding. You know, so we were talking about that a little bit. Like I said, I've done so much research in the last week. You know, I've talked to players that have been in the same position. I've looked at like priority lists from 2015, 2014, and saw where players who had my exact priority list number got into, what tournaments they got into. I talked to past players, I've talked to active players, I've talked to staff members, I've talked to myself. Like I've really just done so much research that I feel like I know the schedule backward and forward. But my, conclusions, and I've gotten a lot of advice from players that say, well, you can't really plan. You can have a rough draft, but you just got to, be ready to go. Okay. I think my first tournament is going to be in Hawaii in April.
Okay.
I have a good chance of getting into Australia, possibly. I might be 1 through 3 or 1 through 5 on the alternate list. So I'm still kind of kicking that around. But I think Australia or Hawaii in April will be the first, and then I will get into a lot of the stateside tournaments. Okay. Dallas, Kingsmill will be definitely one. Mm-hmm. And then I think there's going to be a reshuffle after Dallas or Kingsmill. And okay. That will, I'll either get reshuffled up or I'll get reshuffled down. But even so, players with my status, even when they have not got reshuffled up, they've played in about 8 to 10 LPGA events.
Okay.
So that's kind of what my rough draft of this next year will be.
On a follow on from that, you know that there's a LPGA LET co-sanctioned event in Scotland next season.
Oh yes, I have. The Scottish Open. That's right.
That's about 30 miles from my house. So if you get a place,
really,
I'll come. I've got to come and caddy for you or something.
Awesome. No, okay. I don't know anything about that event because it's new this year, so I don't know where my status will get me on that.
I'll teach you some Scottish while
okay, good. As long as you don't make me eat the food.
Oh, no. So, Brittany, kind of as a follow-up to that, I assume that you're going to play Symetra as well. So you're going to have to like be juggling back and forth. Do you see this as like as kind of risky in a way? Like, could you end up at the?
No, I don't. And again, I've talked to a lot of players, and everyone's advice has been the same. It's been like, you work so hard to get to this point to play an LPGA event. So go play an LPGA events. I've never played in an LPGA event, so I know myself well enough that I know that I need the experience. I need to get my feet wet. I need to be on site and just see how things go. Like I said, I can find a gas station on Symetra on the way to Arkansas, like I said, but I don't know anything about LPGA. I just don't know how it works. So to me, this is kind of like a perfect status for me. I can get my feet wet. I can get the experience. I get a chance to get reshuffled. And no, I don't look at it as a risk because, one good week on the LPGA or 2 good weeks on the LPGA can change your whole year. It can change your whole next year. You need more than 1 or 2 good weeks on Symetra. You need like a full good season. And so I'm willing to take that risk, if it is a risk. But I'm just excited to play on the LPGA whenever I can.
I think that's a great attitude. I happened to catch this. I don't know how I came across it, but I came across an interview with Jarena Pillar the first year that she got conditional status. Mm-hmm. And she decided not to play any LPGA events. She decided to play Symetra 100%, mm-hmm. And get in by making it in the top 10, which she did.
And girls have done that even this year. Allie McDonald did that. Her name's Wichani Michai. They call her Jan from Thailand on Symetra. Both of them came in like 22nd and 23rd at Q School, and they decided to play Symetra, and they both placed in the top 10. And I've also seen Brittany Altamar came in 35th last year at Q School, and she decided to play LPGA, and she got reshuffled, and she came in top 80 on the money list, and she's set for next year. So, I've seen it go both ways. So it's just kind of, I think the biggest thing is you make a decision, you just commit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the best way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fiona, do you have another question while I start looking through the questions that I got from?
Okay. Again, to Brittany about the transition into the LPGA, will you look to buddy up with anyone who's on the tour in terms of traveling with them, or are you pretty much just going to go it alone? And did that work for you in Symetra?
What's really cool is like I said, my good friend Laura Gonzalez Escallon came in 5th on Symetra money list, so she's going to be a rookie this year, and that's who I traveled with all year on Symetra. So she was texting me all through Q School, and we FaceTimed, and she's like, I'm so excited we're going to be rookies together. So, and I actually have another good friend, Maddie Shields, that's going to be a rookie too. So I don't think I'll be traveling alone. I think we're all going to try and figure it out together. Which is kind of nice, We might be the blind leading the blind, but I think it's going to be fun to try and figure it out together.
I have this feeling you'll have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
Is there a pro who's been on tour that you would look up to or advice?
Yeah, I do have a couple of friends out there that I've already reached out to for some advice, and I'm looking forward to picking their brains on tour too. So that'll be that'll be something I'll definitely do.
Do you want to drop some names, Brittany?
No, I'm gonna keep that.
I could be your secret.
Nope, I'm not gonna give their identity away.
Okay, so I got a few Twitter questions earlier this afternoon, so I want to be sure to get some of these in. I got a question from Joe, and I hope I say his name right, Fucillo, who plays Ladies Dream Golf. He's been playing Ladies Dream Golf for quite a while using the name Mox Joe. And so he's interested in knowing your thoughts on the proposed changes to Q School. So Sandy, are you aware of the changes that they're making to Q School? Or that I don't know if these are proposed changes or if these are changes that are actually going to happen. I'm not very educated on this.
Yeah, well, what I understood is like there was kind of an article that they sent that there's a chance that they change it. However, it hasn't been official. It could be next year, it could be the following, but they are kind of like trying to do it differently. And what I understood is going to be kind of similar to the men, that in order to get your LPGA, you will have to play Symetra. Is that right, Brittany?
Yeah, it's kind of complicated, but yeah.
Or like a playoff, no? Like I kind of didn't get it. So okay. I don't know if it's like playing, but I thought like it was kind of like playing a Symetra, but then there's like a playoffs.
Yeah, so instead of 1 week of Q School, they're gonna have like 3 or 4 tournaments, like the web.com does, and they're gonna take like the top 30 players from Symetra that didn't earn their card, and they're going to take like 101 through 150 on LPGA money list. And I think some others, you know, from world rankings, like on European Tour or something. And they're going to throw us all together in a 3-week tournament process and maybe have 30 cards, 20 cards, 25 cards. I'm not sure. They didn't give a lot of detail.
So do you know the motivation behind it? Why do they want to why are they considering changes?
Mike Wan actually did say, he said it's always kind of a constant battle with him to try to get to ensure that the best players are getting on tour. And he said, you know, should the girls coming in 101 through 125 on the money list have higher status than the girls who come in 21 through 45 at Q School? You know, what's the thing? So he's kind of like, I'm just going to throw them all together in a tournament structure, 3-week structure, and then line them up based on that. So he's just kind of he's just trying to make it more fair, to be, you know, in layman's terms. He's really trying to get the best players out there.
And there was some talk about making it a little bit, I don't know the word, making it a little bit better for the college girls who don't have to like leave school 6 months before they graduate, you know.
Right. I don't know exactly how that would make it better. It did sound better. I didn't go that route after college, so I don't know if that's a problem or not. But it did sound an easier route for them, I guess.
Well, Q School to me sounds grueling, no matter how you cut it.
But I think it's better. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sandy.
No, I think it's better to do it in more rounds, because like that thing is like, if you start from, let's say, stage 1, like, and if you play, you just have one tournament, and if you didn't have your best game in that tournament, you lose your chances of going further, you know. And it's just kind of, you have to wait a whole year, because that won't stay in stage 1. You won't get into any tournaments, to be honest. So it's just kind of like having more way of kind of, and it's always in the same courses. So like changing it and mixing it, I think it's more, I mean, you don't know if it's gonna make it better or not, but at least giving more tournaments, you will take the average who played better, not just in one, not just because of having a good week, you just made it, you know.
So also, do you guys know, is there a good chance they're going to implement these changes for 2017, or does this take a long time to make these kind of changes?
It's definitely going to happen in 18.
Oh, okay.
but there's probably like 50-50 it's going to happen next year.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so let me give one more question that I got from Twitter, and this is from Daryl Williams, who actually has been part of Ladies Dream Golf longer than anyone. He was he was one of my original players. I recruited him off of Google Plus when I first started Ladies Dream Golf. I was just trying to find people who were willing to play, and I was just contacting people that sounded interested in golf. So Daryl's been with Ladies Dream Golf from the very beginning, and he's a very very nice addition to Ladies Dream Golf. I'm happy to have him. So he's kind of an equipment buff, and he likes to know what kind of clubs everybody plays with and how far they hit their clubs and that type of thing. So he was interested in knowing for both of you, what clubs you use. Are you going to make any club changes for 2017? And he also wanted to kind of get an idea of how far you hit your clubs on a normal swing speed. So, Brittany, how about it?
I'm going to play left-handed golf clubs.
Well, we know that.
Not going to switch to right-handed. I'm going to play TaylorMade. I've been TaylorMade since I've, I don't know, 5 years maybe. And I'm very happy with them. I'm very happy with my relationship with the reps out on tour. So I have no reason to change. So I actually contacted the reps last week, and we're just going to go forward. So as far as how far I hit the ball, I actually did gain a little bit of distance this year. My drive last year was only like 230, 235, and this year the average is about 250, 255. So
wow.
I am very happy with
What about your 7-iron? How far do you hit your 7-iron?
my 7-iron. I had 2 hole-in-ones with this year. They were both from 150, so it's safe to say I hit it about 150.
Nice. What about your 9?
130-ish.
Okay. Cool. How about you, Sandy?
I have a little bit of a mix in my golf bag. Actually, I have right now, well, I did make a change in the driver just like yesterday. So I'm having, yeah, and it's very exciting because I actually gained by changing like the shaft, and it made me go 3 miles per hour faster, and I'm carrying it 10 yards, at least 10 yards further, my driver. So that's very exciting. But I'd like today, it was my first day in the golf course, because the other one, it was just kind of like the TrackMan. But it's a TaylorMade. My 3-wood and driver are TaylorMade. Hybrids are Cobra. Irons are Yonex. Wedges are Ping. And a putter, it's Odyssey. So as I'm telling you, I have a little bit of a mix, but it's also a good strategy. Like, I can win stuff with anybody. Just kidding. And no, but I really like my clubs. I don't think I'm gonna make any changes, but the driver, like I did change it, and I'm kind of experimenting more with it, but I think I'm gonna stay with the TaylorMade. The other question was about yardages. Distances. I don't go, my distances change it. That's one of the things that I also change it with my coach. Like, I don't have a total distance, but I know my carry numbers. So like my 7-iron, for instance, will be 145 carry. Total might be 150, 155, but like my carry number is 145. Then I have really like a 10-yard range between my clubs. So that's kind of like how I go from with my yardages.
Cool. All right. So Daryl, if that answered your question, great. You can tweet if that did not answer your question, but I find that pretty interesting too. So thanks for that. So Fiona, you're up.
I'm taking note of all this, Brittany, for when I caddy for you at Dundonald.
Well, my yardages might change. You got to be up on it.
Okay, so just following on from the question about clubs, which club in your bag would you? What's the one that you most want to throw in the lake? Most often, Sandy. What club do you want to sort of
my caddy
give a jab and throw into the lake?
I love them all equally.
Oh,
okay. I don't know. No, I don't know. Maybe my hybrid. Sometimes we don't get along.
That's okay. I didn't hear what you said, Brittany. Which one?
I said possibly my hybrid. Sometimes we don't get along, but I don't usually throw anything in the lake.
Yeah, I can't quite picture you throwing a club in a lake. I've seen you play, Brittany. You stay pretty even keel.
Yeah, you don't really know how I'm doing based on my outward appearance. So,
what about you, Sandy? What club gives you the most problems?
I used to have a love-hate relationship with my 3-wood, but now I really like it. So it's kind of
success story.
I wouldn't, not something that I dislike, but for instance, I love my wedges. My wedges are that's my favorites. But yeah, really, I will say between the ones that it's funny because one of the things that I didn't like, the clubs that I didn't love to hit was like my 5-iron and my 3-wood. But now, I have been hitting them, with the changes, I like them a lot and I feel confident with them too. So it's not like I see them differently or anything like that anymore. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honest answers.
So Brittany, I was going to ask you, I know one of the things that you said at the beginning of the season that actually I think your coach told you needed to do for 2016 was to learn how to play with a professional caddy. Mm-hmm. And up to this season, you hadn't ever really played with a professional caddy. So I know that you did do that, and you were working with Adam, I believe his name was.
Yep.
And so how did that go? How was it difficult adjusting to a professional caddy? And is Adam going to be around for next year?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it was difficult in the beginning. She goes, well, you need to work with a professional caddy. I'm like, I know how to work with a professional caddy. They carry your clubs and they give it to you when you need it, and then you go on. No, that's not. It was, you have to balance out, you have to find a balance with their personality, your personality. Your on-course talk has to know. He kind of had to learn when to talk to me, when to not, what to say, how he said it. And there again, I needed to learn how to respond to him, what worked for him. And we really had to work together as a team. And that probably took us a couple weeks, at least 3, 4, 5 weeks. Adam will definitely be starting with me next year. After we did get used to each other, we had a great year together. It was so nice to have some consistency, to know that he was going to be there every week on Monday morning, Tuesday morning. And he became actually a very good friend. And it was so nice to have just conversations about anything, on the golf course. It was so nice to have that distraction. And a couple times, coming down to the last 9, when I was playing well, he kept me really calm. He's got this really calming presence. So overall, I'm so happy that I decided to have a professional caddy this year. It was such a good call.
Well, that's great. And I got to meet Adam too. He seems like a great guy. So
yeah, he's great.
That's nice. And Sandy, you tend to either carry your own bag or use volunteer caddies, right?
You know, this year I didn't use many volunteers. Maybe just a couple events at the end, but I did push a lot. I think like it makes a difference if I'm gonna do it myself. It makes a difference pushing and carrying at the end, especially week after week. Even though my bag is not a staff bag or anything, but pushing was very comfortable and I really like it. Just in the major that was in Greenwood, I decided to hire at the last minute a guy from Argentina that he works in the web.com but was around that week, and we made a really good click, and it happened that he caddied for me on the US Open qualifier and we made it, so we worked together also in the Open and he caddied for me on Q-School. But I mean, I just kind of, you know, I think it is very different, but in a nice way. Like when you really get along well with somebody and make a click on the golf course, it can make a difference. And but it's hard also because even I know volunteers are different, but it just kind of the relationship with the player and the caddy, it's not with everybody you're gonna click, because especially I think like women were so well, in a way, like the way they tell us things and stuff, we can get it like personal. Well, I do sometimes, and it's just like, why did you tell me that, you know? And they don't mean, because men are the simple, like they're just telling you. So it's just kind of like, it's so hard when you understand, and also how like you appreciate them, and like to have a good communication, I think is basic. But I think it's a little different. So that's why when I kind of like have the option, I mean, it's great, and I thank all the volunteers out there that help us every week, because it's nice when somebody's carrying your bag. But sometimes it was just not much, because I was kind of, it's harder sometimes to make that switch. So it was like some tournaments I felt like I just was better by myself, but it was kind of, yeah, in the mood.
Are you saying you're difficult to work with, Sandy?
Sometimes.
We all are.
No, I don't think I'm picky, but I think like now that when I learned, because I thought my mentality was the same as Brittany, like, yeah, they carry your clubs. I mean, they're gonna tell you the yardage, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna choose what I'm like. But sometimes you have so much adrenaline, and they can see, well, you don't want to really be like, you want to carry this number, you know, like you don't have to go further or like stuff like that. And then they can help you to make a wiser decision, and especially because they know how if you have the adrenaline, that's kind of also a call of the player, but they can save you a few shots. And in golf, it's especially in professional golf, it make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Or changing the momentum of a round.
Yep, I understand. So kind of looking towards next year. So Brittany, we know that you're going to kind of split your time a little bit between the Symetra Tour and the LPGA. How are we going to know what your schedule is, and how can we follow you, and how can we?
I'm not sure. I'm not even going to know really. I think, you know, it'll just, all the fields are going to be posted like a week prior on LPGA, and they actually also post like 1 through 10 on the alternate list. So you can kind of see, you know, if I'm in, I'm obviously in, and if not, I will probably go play Symetra that week. I have the schedules side by side, and they look like they kind of coincide pretty well for me. So,
so what do you think your first tournament's going to be of 2017?
More than likely, which one, Symetra or LPGA?
Just first. Like which which is going to be your first tournament? I don't know which one.
I'm gonna try to go Monday qualify in the Bahamas. So if I get in, it'll be that. If not, it could be Australia. And if I'm not, then it'll be Symetra, I think, in Florida.
Okay. Do you know? Can you say when the Symetra Tour starts?
It will either be the last week of February or the first week of March.
Okay, so you guys are going to have quite a break.
Yeah. Unless I go to Australia, then I'll have like a month off.
Well, so Brittany, I mean, I've looked at the stats over the last few years, and you've had a really consistent improvement every year. Every year you've gotten a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. So what part of your game this season do you think helped you do that a little bit better? And what do you think it's going to be next year that's going to get you that a little bit better?
I think it's just a continuation of what I'm doing now. You know, my coach and I talk a lot about polishing, and like you're like the sculptor, and you're just kind of like picking away at your masterpiece or whatever. Everything just continues to get a little bit better. I gained a little bit of distance. I got a professional caddy. Maybe that saved a shot around. My putting got better, especially at school. It was, inside 10 feet. It was much better. My iron is solid. I'm striking the ball more solid, so I'm carrying the ball further. So it's just little things like that continuing to get better, and then my mindset on the golf course continues to get better. And it's just been a long process, and I really feel like it's just going to be more of the same next year. You just keep continuing to chip away at the block, make everything a little bit tighter. I continue to talk to my coach, and we talk about the mental game and all sorts of thoughts that come up on the golf course, and everything just kind of falls into place.
It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to follow your progress and see how you do. So Sandy, what about you? What are your plans for 2017? I know that you will have some status on the Symetra Tour, but probably not able to get into every tournament. What are your plans for 2017?
Yeah, I will start playing Suncoast at the beginning of the year. And even I don't know exactly which one will be my first tournament of Symetra, but like it starts at the end of February anyway, so I'll play some Suncoast. I haven't decided if I will do some LPGA Monday qualifying like in the meantime, but I'm gonna focus on being ready for Symetra whenever I get in. So like if I'm not in, I will be playing Suncoast, but I feel like it's very important to keep competing.
Okay, and so for those that don't know, Suncoast is it's called a mini tour, right? And
well, actually, it doesn't call Suncoast anymore.
It's
NWGA.
NWGA, National Women's Golf Association.
Cool. So we're probably going to wrap this up pretty soon here, but Fiona, I wanted to give you a chance. Did you have any more questions before we start?
No, I didn't. Other than I've heard all about Brittany's good relationship with Adam. I'm thinking they won't get caddy from Scotland, but I'm taking the rejection well.
I was trying to break that to you slowly, like just kind of like flip it in.
Cool. Well, but I guarantee you, Fiona will be there if you are in Scotland, and
absolutely.
So that'll be cool. So thank you so much, everyone, for Brittany and Sandy and Fiona, especially for staying up so late. I did want to talk a little bit about 2017 Ladies Dream Golf. And I'm happy to announce that both Brittany and Sandy will still be playing fantasy golf with us next year. And so the Beat the Pro feature that we had, where you get to compare your scores to the pros, you'll be doing that with Sandy and Brittany next year. And I do have a new pro that's going to be our resident pro next year, which I'm not ready to announce yet. But it's going to be fun. I think she's going to really fit in well with the community. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be really cool to have actually 3 professionals kind of involved with Ladies Dream Golf. And Brittany, I know you're going to be really busy, so I'll probably have to send you a few reminders to make your picks. But thank you guys both for agreeing to do that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm changing some other things up as well. We're still going to have pick 4. We're still going to have make the cut. It's just going to be a little bit different, with kind of the goal to ensure that that really all of the money that we're collecting goes towards the pro that we're supporting. And but I think it's going to be really cool. I'm working on getting some prize sponsors. We're going to have some really cool prizes, and probably have a hangout with our new resident pro in the beginning of January to kind of kick everything off. And you know, I would love to get back together with you guys too sometime during the season and see how you're doing. And you know, Brittany, it'll be interesting to get your thoughts on what it's like to be on the LPGA.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just got a tweet from Daryl saying we need more Google Hangouts during the season. And I actually really intended to do that more this year. And I have to say that I was not great about it. I had a lot of health issues this year. I had knee surgery. I had several things. I won't go into all of it. But I would like to have more Hangouts. And so we'll try to at least do a Hangout every other month or so, which I think would be great. And any of you who want to participate in the Hangouts like Fiona did with us tonight, just let me know. And because I'd like to get as many people involved as possible. So I just leave you with those little teasers and not tell you much more. But Brittany and Sandy, it's been so great having you guys involved. And best of luck to you in 2017. You can guarantee I'm going to be following you guys, following your progress. And it's just been great having you guys. So thank you so much.
No, thank you, Kelley, for everything you do.
Yep.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Kelley.
And so I'll just let everybody kind of say their goodbyes. Brittany, do you have some last words for us?
I don't. Again, I just want to reiterate my gratitude to you and the whole community. And I'm looking forward to next year. I hope everyone can follow along. And I think it'll be a great year.
Excellent. And Fiona, how about you?
Yeah, but just thank you, Kelley, for running the tournament. It's given me the opportunity to not only to meet you, but to chat online with Brittany and Sandy, which has been great. So when I meet them, say hi. It's me. But it's a real fun game. So I've enjoyed. So thank you very much. And 2017.
Absolutely. And I should have mentioned before, Fiona was the Make the Cut winner from last year, from 2015, which is quite an accomplishment because, you know, we start out with about 200 entries. And so to be the last one standing is pretty impressive. So she has those bragging rights.
School.
Yeah, exactly. And Sandy, how about you? Do you have any closing words?
Yes,
Sandy?
it has been a great year to be part of Ladies Dream, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I enjoyed it so much. Look forward to play next year. And we're gonna see Brittany's name now. We can put it there too. So congratulations.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot.
Yeah, you can actually bet in yourself, so that's cool. And I'm just wishing everybody Merry Christmas and a healthy 2017.
Thank you. And I hadn't thought of that either. That's going to be so much fun picking Brittany's name, and it'll start out in group 4, but I just have this feeling that you're going to move up, so that's going to be pretty exciting.
That'll be my goal, to get to that #1 group by the end.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys. It's been a blast.
Thanks, Kelley.
We'll definitely be in touch.
Okay,
right.
I'll put the bed down.
Bye-bye.